This entire season, we've been focusing on different and easy ways where you can still make a good retirement living without having to save up a whole bunch with an investment broker to invest all this money for you. So this last episode, we're gonna focus on 3 ways to actually reduce costs. One of the first things is communal living. In the US, a lot of people either live by themselves or they end up going to the senior center. But what if you can live with a group of your friends and all share the same apartment, share a house? You can have these nice senior facilities, but you can design it in a way where it's comfortable so you still have your privacy. In our generation, we kind of grew up watching Friends, and you watch all these shows that people are living together and having fun. Well, what if you could do that at your old age? By living together, sharing all the costs, suddenly your monthly expense when you're old suddenly can drop down significantly. One of the biggest indicators for happiness and long life is that you have a good social network and you have good relationships with your partner, with your family, with your friends. And so instead of working 2 jobs, making more money and investing, instead of focusing on wealth, you focus on relationships. And then at the end of your life, you all pull together, your friends and your family, you guys all get a little place, live together, and enjoy your last years together. You have better health, you have better happiness, and you don't need a lot of money because you're sharing. You guys are planting tomatoes together.
I'd have to make sure my friends have stayed fun, because I feel like if you got to keep them on their toes throughout the next 40 years. Otherwise, they would probably be like, nah, I don't want to do it.
Maybe this is the kid in me, but if there's a bunch of guys and we retire together, we just get a crazy good gaming studio and we could create a league and we will rock the world.
I love that.
We'll stream 80-year-olds kicking butt, The second one is probably a little bit more adventurous than most people can handle, but you take the little retirement funds that you have saved, but you could reduce the cost of your living to a couple $100s a month and live in a different place completely. And maybe you could do that for a few years. And that, of course, will save a lot of money. You want to do that probably early on in your retirement as opposed to the end because then you kind of run out of energy and stuff. Some people have done a lot of cruises. Just living on a cruise is already much cheaper than being stationed in California. So on the cruise, you have really good food, you have exercise, you have entertainment. You take that same concept and apply it elsewhere. The cruises are even cheaper if you depart from somewhere else. 2-3 months, a year at a time, different places. It could be extremely affordable and reduce the cost significantly. You could do that by yourself, you could do that with a group of friends.
And that's fun. Like that's kind of what most people picture in their retirement anyways.
What they want to do, right?
Yeah. Basically like what we think of traditionally is like the vacation of retirement of, I want to spend all my money and travel and eat good food, but actually working that into the retirement plan.
The third one is downsizing to a point where you enjoy the lifestyle that you have. A lot of people, especially in America, were like big hoarders, but you have to see at the end of your life, all of that becomes a burden. The more stuff that you acquire becomes things that your dependents have to now take care of.
This house is absolutely a disaster. The kitchen is completely covered in boxes.
My mom has like a little organizing business and she definitely sees that with some of her clients. She had this other couple, I guess their parents went through the Depression. And so they have like 20 of everything, 20 hammers, 20, this and that, and they really can't part with them because that's just not how they were raised. But they're at the age where they can't park in the garage because all the stuff is in there. And so like I've definitely seen her kind of laments that this is clearly a burden to them. This is not helping them at this point.
At a certain point in your life, it really should be, once you cannot enjoy all the things that you've acquired, is really should be starting to downsize down to maybe just a suitcase. Your life just becomes simpler and simpler. When you have that in mind and that trajectory, because a lot of financial planners, they're saying, okay, what is the lifestyle you want? You want a bigger house, you want to throw entertaining parties. Okay, so you need all this. But if you're selling the properties, you're not buying more and more things. You're not eating more and more. You're actually eating less and less, right? At a certain point, you're just eating porridge. All right, and pudding and porridge, right? I'm very happy with pudding and porridge. It doesn't get more and more extravagant.
Yeah.
When you start scaling down, your life becomes simpler, the cost becomes less.
And experience probably a sense of freedom.
Yes.
Because I can imagine if you've been in the same house for 50 years, that can be a beautiful thing. It could also be like a self-imposed prison, so it can be kind of liberating to have this fresh start.
New beginning.
I got married recently. It's great.
Good.
It's been, how long has it been? Like 3 weeks?
Oh,
so
wow.
very, very fresh.
Yes.
Like as newlywed as you can be. But I wanted to ask you, I'm very independent. My husband's very independent. We're two very different people. Somehow it comes together. But we're very used to making like decisions for ourselves. So if you could just have any insight on how to make better decisions together.
Just have simple principles that both of you like and abide by and enjoy. For example, there's the 5-2-1 rule. If you guys can't come to a decision on a certain thing, then one party picks 5 things, the other party narrows it down to 2 things, and then it goes back to the first party. From the 2 things, they pick 1. So it's like, okay, we use this method to narrow it down. This principle worked for some things, it's not gonna work for everything. Sometimes we can't decide on what to eat. Or just constantly scrolling, even going out or staying in. Uber Eats or Grubhub, we don't know. We're gonna do the Instagram rule. The first food that pops up on our Instagram as we scroll, that's what we're eating. Somebody's gonna post something somewhere, right? And we're gonna get targeted by ad or something. If it's sushi, it's sushi. If it's ramen, you should set a principle for easy decisions without a severe consequence, like what food you're eating. And then something that's much more important, like naming your child. If both of you really care about it. Then another really good principle to have is the veto rule. Both of you have full veto authority. Even if one party really believes it, the other party, if they say no, it's the end of discussion. You can petition again the next day, because if they still say no, it's over, end of discussion. So for important things, that's that. But for other things, come up with a loose and fun way. You roll dice on certain things, but use that to help you decide and then kind of go on with your life. Knowing how to foster a good relationship is such an art, and it's different between people. The principles that you're going to use with your spouse is going to be different with your kids and your parents. But knowing what are the principles to create and let the other person understand those principles, and the two of you could just resolve things accordingly. And if you have a good relationship, your life is just going to be so much better. And that's it for season 2 of Better. We primarily focus on finances. For season 3, we're gonna go back to talking about all the different things in life that can be better. And most people are not doing it, so what are you doing?
What's going on?
I hope you guys enjoyed it. I think finance is just a little bigger subject that a lot of people care about. But we don't want to be a finance channel. There's so many finance channels out there. Our entire purpose of this one episode is just to attack the financial industry, saying you do not need to invest in stocks and starting your company. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It was fun. Thank you, Jane.
Thank you, Joseph.
Bye-bye.
Bye. How can we attain happiness? And not just for a moment, right? How can we truly be happy?
So when I was thinking about this particular topic, I didn't really get to one magical answer. But